Hey everybody, this is Colton with POSGuys.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Epson TrueOrder kitchen display software. Epson markets this software as being something that is POS agnostic, easy to set up, and easy to configure. All three of those things at once is a pretty big claim, so we're going to take a deep dive and see if the marketing lives up to reality. Before I jump in and actually show off the software, I did want to highlight a couple things on this just to help you understand where the software is fitting in the market. First off, and probably the biggest thing to note, is that this isn't just an app that you can download on any tablet and get running. You do need to purchase a particular piece of hardware that has the software preloaded onto it. There's two options for that. You can do a media player like this that can be connected into any display. So I have it connected to a little monitor on an articulating VESA stand, and that's what we'll be using to show off. And oh, come on, there we go. But you also have the option of a 21-inch all-in-one touchscreen, and that's going to give you the ability to touch the kitchen tickets to bump them. I happen to like this a little bit more, just because it kind of gives you that flexibility. But some people really do appreciate the touch on that, and that might be the option they want to use. Both of those are made by a company called Microtouch. They make a lot of touchscreens and all-in-one devices. They're really nice products, and I'll throw a link right up here to a review that I did on some of their other products, just so you can get an idea of what that all-in-one might look like. The perk of going with this model is that when you buy this piece of hardware with the software, you own the software forever. You don't need to pay a monthly fee. There's not something where it's reaching out to the cloud and seeing if you've paid a subscription, and if not, it's going to turn off the service. In fact, this doesn't even need to be connected onto the internet at all. So that's going to be a big selling point for a lot of people who really just don't want to be bothered with monthly fees. So big kudos to Epson for prioritizing that model. The software works essentially by acting as a printer on your local area network. So you do need to be plugged into a router, but you don't necessarily need to have internet if that's not your preference. From there, basically it acts as a printer on the network, and when your point of sale software, it sends over a print job to it as if it was a printer. It uses a special translator called a parser that essentially pulls out the pieces of that receipt and has it display on the setup here. The caveat with that, of course, is that that parser actually needs to exist for each software in order to make it compatible. So it'll work with any software, but it needs to have that parser developed. Epson's built a bunch of parsers. I think there's about 30. That number might be wrong, and I'll throw that right number on the screen here somewhere. But I'll throw up a list right now of the major ones that are supported as of the time of recording. They're always making new ones, so this list is bound to be outdated here in the next couple months. A couple of the big ones that I will highlight, you have NCR Counterpoint, Aloha, Talic, Touch Bistro, Shopkeep, and Adello Point of Sale. I will actually be using Adello today. That is one of the more popular softwares that we offer, and it's also a buy once, own forever model. So, they kind of have some nice synergy there. Finally, the very last point I want to make is that the TrueOrder software is relatively new. It's only been out for a couple months, so the initial setup can be a little tricky. Once you get going, it's relatively smooth, but especially during that initial setup, Epson's done a great job of building out technical documentation that you can use to follow, and their support team is really on top of it. So big kudos to them. They've been a really great help. I've seen them working back and forth with some of our customers, and they've been great. So all of this is to say that right now, it's a relatively new piece of software. I'm sure the kinks will be worked out, but do account for a little extra time just to get set up. With all of those caveats out of the way, I'm going to go ahead, jump on over to the screen, and show you how the software works. So we're going to go ahead and do a fairly typical order here. We'll cash out, do a takeout order, and once we pull that up, let's say that the person wants some fried mozzarella's, a quesadilla, and maybe some Cajun shrimp. They're a little hungry today. You'll cash that out, and then it gives it a little beep, another little beep there, and we'll be set and ready to go. And I accidentally hit to print the ticket onto it, so it'll also do that. You'll see both things viewed here. So you'll see the actual order, and then you'll see the little ticket that I accidentally pushed. So my bad on that. So you'll see both of these here, and then you'll see that after the 10-second mark, they turned orange, just to kind of show a priority. I set 10 seconds just to highlight it, so we're not waiting here 2 minutes. But that's essentially how that works. And then you have your little bump bar here, there's 1 through 9 on it. If you press 1, it'll clear the first option, and then you can hit 1 again, it'll clear out the second option. And then you can also additionally hit recall, and you will see all the different orders that have been bumped. And I've did some ones previously here, so those are there as well. So let's say, we have option number 3 here, this shrimp cocktail. Maybe I accidentally bumped that, but it was never made. Hey, kitchen got to go ahead and make that. You just want to hit the number that corresponds to that, and it'll pull it back. So we'll hit 3, and it'll bring it back out. Hit recall again to go back, and you'll see the shrimp cocktail has been recalled. You can go ahead and make that, and then bump it again. Super duper simple. Works like most softwares, right? The software also supports bumping individual items. So let's say we want to go ahead and do a takeout order here, and we'll add on some we'll just run down the list. Fried zucchini, fried mozzarella, and some quesadillas. They're having a great night. We'll go ahead and cash them out, send that over, get a little notification, of course, to let you know that it's come in, and that's customizable, of course. And you'll see that you have the takeout ticket here with the 4 different appetizers. If you press this little down button right here, you can actually move in between the individual items. And let's say we want to bump the fried mozzarella. We'll do that. And then, you could theoretically go through and bump other individual items. In order to get out of that mode, just press this down button 1 more time. And then when you're ready, you can bump the whole order by pressing the bump button. Or sorry, the 1 button, not the bump button. Sorry about that. And that's, in a nutshell, basically how it works. It's a no-frills KDS setup. Real simple. So let's get into some of the fun details, or some of the customization options. So let's say, your expediter wants it set up. He doesn't like how the individual things kind of get added up here. Maybe they're used to a setup where you have multiple grids and columns. That's easy enough to do. We'll move on over here. This is the KDS configuration utility. This is what you can use to enable and change up most of the behaviors on the software. So we'll go ahead to this station. We'll go to Layout, select our main station, go to Edit, and now we can set up, or we can both change the grids and the tickets. So we'll go ahead here on the grid, we'll edit that, and you'll see that right now we have it set to a flexible grid. We will set that to a fixed grid, and instead of doing a 1 row and 4 columns, we'll do 2 rows and 4 columns. We'll go ahead and move up here, hit save, and then let's say we want the tickets to look a little bit different. So right now we have new tickets coming in as blue, and then after 10 seconds they're turning to that orange. Let's say we want to keep the blue, but instead of the priority being this orange color, let's say they're real specific. They want it to be this bright purple, or as pink-ish fuchsia, magenta, some color like that. We'll go ahead and hit save, click that out, and then we want to hit the publish button. Just a heads up, when you do publish any changes, it's going to reset the entire display and clear out all the bumped items. So don't do this in the middle of a lunch rush. Your chefs won't be too happy with you. But now you'll see everything is broken into 2 columns, or a grid, I suppose. So now if we do a takeout order for 1, do some Cajun shrimp, cash, settle that out, move that 1, it'll occupy that. And now if we do some more, oh gosh, what did I do? Oh, 0.2 pounds of stuffed jalapenos, lemon pepper, and then some chicken tenders, and cash that out. Instead of it going and kind of cramped on, it'll kind of break into the next one, and then it'll kind of move out from there. And then of course, now that we hit the priority on this, it is turning into this purple color. 10 seconds has passed, so that's turned into the purple color. So you kind of have that flexibility there as well. So let's say that you're a quick service restaurant and you kind of want to do the thing, right, where you have the preparing and now serving, and kind of have that available for customers to see. The software can do that as well. When you're in the Edit Layout Grid configuration, you're going to want to go ahead and hit 2-column grid. Give this a name. So we'll go ahead and just call this, we'll call it Quick, because why not? Quick. There we go. Hit save on that. And now if we go over here to our station layout, hit Edit, go customer facing, hit save. We have quick selected, save it again. There we go. And publish. It'll go ahead, reload, do this thing, takes just about a second. And now you'll see, once that clears, takes its time, there you go. You'll have preparing and ready, set up and ready to go. So now when we go ahead and cache that out, we can order a shrimp cocktail, cache there, hit save, and takeout 20 will go. So the last big function that I'm going to highlight today is how to print receipts from this KDS, because you can do that as well. Say, for some reason you want to be able to slap a sticky receipt onto whatever devices you're making. Maybe it's takeout and you just want to be able to keep track of them as you put them on a rack before your DoorDash person comes and picks them up. That's relatively easy to do. Come over here to the main configuration station, go to device config, hit the station that you want to use, and then if you see down here, you have print functions. So you can print an item on bump, print the ticket on bump, or print the chit. And let's say, for this thing, you want to print just the whole ticket when the item is bumped as opposed to bumping individual items. Go ahead and print ticket on bump, hit save, and then just make sure that you have the correct setting or you've reverted your layout here. I've already gone ahead and did that just to, make things a little bit easier. Go ahead and hit save on that, hit publish, and now it should reload, do its thing. It'll take just a second, and while that's going ahead, we'll go over here to the KDS, to the point of sale. We'll do a takeout item. We'll do some chicken tenders. We'll cache that out, send it on over here, and now when I bump that, there we go. Oh, it's screaming at me. But now you have a little thing, and I'll throw it on this screen so it's a little easier. That says chicken tenders, and you can just stick that wherever you want. Yeah, that works. And there is one more final feature that I wanted to highlight. I can't personally show it off because I don't have multiple stations, but you can set different groups and menu items in those groups on this tab. So that's this third tab over here, this menu and recipes. What that allows you to do is say, you have a station that only makes salads. You can put down all the different names for your salads into a group and have it automatically sent to the KDS that's at your salad station. That's a pretty common feature for KDSs as well. So I wanted to go ahead and make highlight of that. Like I said, I don't have multiple stations, so I can't really show that off, but it's there, I promise. The only caveat with that, of course, is when you're entering the item name, you do just need to make sure that you're entering it exactly as it appears in your point of sale software. Otherwise, the KDS parser won't be able to identify it. But with that, that will wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions on the software, we are more than happy to answer them. Give us a call, email, a live chat. Leave us a comment on the video, a bunch of different ways to reach out to us. We are more than happy to get connected with you and answer anything you might have, set up a demo with Epson's team, and kind of, find a solution that's gonna meet your restaurant's needs. Overall, I think the software is in a pretty good place, especially considering that it's a brand new software. Obviously there's some quirks that need to be worked around, but as the months go by, those should all be hammered out. I think the functionality is great. It's a simple setup for the most part. I think especially being a buy once, own forever model, to have the ability to access a support team to help you out and continuously get those updates. It's a pretty good deal, especially if you're a budget conscious person. So with that, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day.